Well, howdy there, folks. James, Political Friar, coming to you again. Got the University of Oregon hat on, so we're going to talk about a political topic today. Specifically, we're going to talk about what's going on with the immigration portion of the immigration Ukraine Israeli bill that is under negotiation between the Senate Republicans and the Senate Democrats and the White House, and what is going on with the House of Representatives in relation to those negotiations. See, reports came out last week that the Senate Republicans and the Senate Democrats had come 95% of the way to an agreement, with the Senate Democrats and the White House largely conceding to what the Republicans wanted on the border. That is to say, remain in Mexico, immediate ejection of asylum seekers if the asylum courts are overwhelmed. That is no parole. So the normal thing that happens with asylum seekers is that they're given a summons to a court date. It's a lot like a traffic ticket. You say, hey, you can hang out in the United States, especially if you have family, you can go and be with them, and then you got to show up to immigration court when it's your turn. Well, the thing is, the immigration courts are so massively overwhelmed that they can wait a year and just be on parole for a whole year in the United States. They're technically legal entrants because they're waiting on their asylum case to be heard, but they sometimes never get heard, and then a good portion of them never show up, and they end up just being illegal aliens in the United States. This is the way to get across the border now: is to show up to the border, surrender to the border patrol, say that you're an asylum seeker, get your court date, and then don't show up. And there you're in. You're in just as effectively as if you snuck across and never got caught. This is a big problem that the Republicans have rightly identified is the abuse of the asylum program. And the Democrats have been more reticent to change things, but apparently they agreed to. They agreed to almost everything the Republicans wanted. The things that apparently they didn't agree to was a restriction on legal immigration. That was something the Republicans apparently asked for, and the Democrats said, no, we're not going to lower the amount of legal immigration. But the way that asylum is dealt with, the Democrats folded. They said, okay, for Ukraine aid and for Israeli aid and for America having a more organized border, or less chaotic anyway, border, will give the Republicans what they want. And when Donald Trump heard about this, when he heard that the Democrats had surrendered and given the Republicans everything that they wanted, or at most everything that they wanted, he said no. He said no deal. He got his allies in the House, uh, Speaker Johnson among them, to tell the Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans, no deal. We don't actually want to fix the border. We want that to be a festering political problem for Joe Biden. That's right. America first. Except for when it's politically advantageous for Donald Trump to have America last. Donald Trump's strategy is there cannot be any solutions to any problems that he doesn't get credit for. That's gross. It's just gross. And so we are going to be stuck in a position where maybe these obviously solvable problems that have huge majorities for solving them don't get done because Donald Trump doesn't want them to get done. And the majority in the House is narrow enough that the Republicans can prevent it. They can just say, no, no, we want it to be a problem. We want the chaos at the border to continue. We want it because it's an opportunity to deprive Joe Biden of a victory. It is the worst kind of partisan politics. It is very similar to what Nancy Pelosi did in 2007 to George W. Bush. See, George W. Bush had big majorities for an immigration reform in 2007. He had the path to citizenship. He had DACA. He had guest worker programs. All of this was agreed to in 2007. It was the Teddy Kennedy McCain immigration bill. And for political advantage only, Nancy Pelosi refused to solve the border problem in 2007. She says, no, we want the border to continue to be a problem for George W. Bush because we want to whack him politically. We want to make sure that in 2008 a Democrat gets elected to be president. And so, no, we're not going to solve the problem. And 15 years later, the same sin, the same put my party, my politics first over America is being committed by Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi have a lot in common. They are selfish, political animals who would rather have power than solutions. It's gross. It's gross. It's your guy. Anyway, tell me how wrong I am in the comments down below. Leave me a comment, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and boy, give me some sunshine. This is depressing as hell because the solution's just right there. And everybody is okay with it, except for the people who want a problem for power. Anyway, appreciate you. Thanks.